walking by faith. This is super important. So, Rachel loves talking about this topic. Mm-hmm. Rachel, why do you walk by faith, and what's the point in walking by faith?
Oh, so good. So, I walk by faith because I want to be obedient, to what the Lord is calling me to do, and what the Lord has called me and my husband to do. Because I feel like in our obedience, the Lord blesses that. And already, I feel like there's been so many times where my husband and I have been called to take a step in something, and we have no idea what that looks like. I feel like I could tell you so many stories, even just this year of what the Lord has asked us to do, and we don't know what it's going to look like, but we just do it, and then later we see oh my gosh, that's totally why the Lord asked us to do this. You see little puzzle pieces, and then later you see them all come together. But the point of walking by faith is...
One second. Before we get into what's the point, can you give us an example of y'all walking by faith?
Okay, this is a good one. So we live in a really small town in Oklahoma, and really if we could be in our flesh, we would not live here. I mean, I don't know what people's views on this are, but in this small town, there are so many grow houses. And it's really sad, all these old buildings downtown are just the Chinese have come in and they buy them for really expensive. They pay cash for them. And they grow weed. Yeah, they grow weed out of these buildings. And there's so many. I'm is there still a market for this? I mean, obviously I'm not into that, obviously. But you walk downtown or drive downtown and you smell the weed. It's so strong. But so me and my husband feel called to this small town. Yeah, in our flesh we would not want to do this. So I feel our past 2 years of marriage, we've been going back and forth because we lived in Tulsa, and then now we live in this small town. So the craziest part, we're entrepreneurs at heart. We just love it. We love doing multiple things. I remember asking the Lord, Lord, I want a man who does a lot of things, and he totally fulfilled that. And this is also weird. So my husband has his own small business. Okay, I have examples. Perfect. He sells old photos in old paper. So I have an example here because he has a live sale later. But it's this is a train. So this is, I don't know if you can tell really. But he sells old photos. And in July, the Lord felt the Lord was Andrew, I want you to cash out. And he was sell my entire stock of what I've got. And I did not know this was a thing. Let's just pause there. I did not know this was a thing, but apparently it is. And the Lord's Andrew, I want you to cash out, sell all your stock. And he slept on it. And in the morning he told me, and I was okay. I feel that in a big way, and we'll probably get into this later, but a big way that we feel the Lord's confirmation through his peace, if we feel peace about it. And I felt peace about it, so I was okay, so we're gonna do that. And within 24 hours, so he had reached out to multiple people, and then within 24 hours he had a buyer for all of these old photos, which is crazy.
Oh, nice.
I still am baffled. I'm how is this our living? It's really weird. But within 24 hours he had a buyer fly out from Pennsylvania to Oklahoma, and then he drove it all back. Wow. And so after that we were just I don't know what that was, but we did it. And I won't say the amount, but it was enough, almost exactly enough to pay off my student loans. So that's a huge testimony in itself.
Yeah,
we just
that's
had
awesome.
No idea, and time and time again the Lord has just been providing in different ways. So that's just one example.
Yeah, that really shows what happens when we're obedient to God. Everything just lines up perfectly.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And then you want me to get into why we're called to walk by faith?
Yeah, what's the point in walking in faith?
Yeah, I feel the Lord has called us to do this. I mean, in the Bible, there's so many stories of the Lord asking people to do random weird things, and I think it's really meant to like stretch us. And I think really the point is for us to learn how to trust the Lord. That's been like a huge thing in my life. Like there was like getting into college was a huge testimony for me. Like I was okay in high school, but I applied to my dream school, which was Oral Roberts University.
Oh, nice.
So that was the only school I applied to, and because I had a lot of family go there, and so I applied there, and like I didn't know I was gonna get in, and I got in, and then the Lord provided for me to go, and so I feel like walking by faith is a huge trusting exercise. The Lord's like, hey, I want you to trust him, and like he knows what the outcome is going to be. He just wants to see if we're going to take a step of obedience. And so I think that's a huge part of learning to trust him and know that he knows all things, and he's going in front of us and he's going behind us. And so
Yeah, that's good stuff. And I think another thing, like the point of walking by faith, I think another thing, it provides us hope also.
Yeah, that's good.
Like, if anything, if something hard is going on, you walk by faith, you put your trust in the Lord, there's hope that also comes along with that. So, yeah.
Oh, definitely. That's good.
Okay, so what would you say is the hardest part about walking by faith?
I feel like the hardest part about walking by faith is doing it and being like, okay, Lord, are you really asking me? I feel like doubt can kind of creep in. And sometimes it can be things that would not like normally be practical. So I think it's the doubt, like, Lord, am I doing what you're supposed to be doing? Because I also like to think of like walking by faith is like you're walking with a blindfold on. You can't see anything. It's kind of like you're blind, but you're just walking. But really, the Lord is with you. You just can't see His whole entire picture. So I think just that doubt can creep in, and the enemy can come in and be like, "Are you sure you're doing this? Like, you really shouldn't be doing this." And so I think that is one hard thing about walking by faith.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that too, because sometimes you're just like, okay, are you sure, God? Are you sure I'm supposed to go this way? Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So, how do you catch yourself if you notice you're acting on fear rather than on faith?
Yeah, I think I realize like I'm worrying so much. And like I'm a person who sometimes can time to time struggle with anxiety. And so I feel like if I'm just like it's coming up and I'm just worrying, I feel like I'm aware of my anxiety. Like I have a counselor, so I tell her like I'm aware of my like what I'm thinking and everything, and so I kind of just pause and we go back to like me and my husband. We go back to do we have peace about what we're doing or the situation, or like my husband always asks me, Rachel, like about anything, like Rachel, what do you feel in your spirit? And I'm like, okay, I feel peace. Like even just like moving to this small town, I feel so much peace. I remember one day we drove back here. It's like a 2-hour drive from Tulsa. And so we drove back here, and it's like honestly a town like probably most people wouldn't want to live in. It's a small town. And we just had like so much peace, and we were kind of like, that's kind of annoying, but I know we're supposed to be here, so.
Yeah, I can relate to that because even like after college, I came back to my hometown and I did not want to do it at all. But now that I'm here, it's just like everything just is perfect. Like everything's just perfect.
Yeah, and just clicks into place. I love that.